Welcome to our coverage of the Queensland Cup. Today from Bishop Park in Nunda, it's Norths at home to Ipswich. And it's third place Ipswich against fifth place Norths. And given the traffic jam that we have for the top 5 places, it's important that both teams keep on winning. And a beautiful day, but a fairly strong breeze blowing. Let's look firstly, though, at last weekend's results. And in a rather unusual television match, Wynnum beat Toowoomba by 54-28. North's victorious over Wests by 10 points. East Coast beat Logan. North Queensland big winners over the Comets. Redcliffe had a comfortable win over South. And Ipswich beat Burleigh to lead into this. And David Wright, given North's position in 5th spot, it's a crucial stage of the season for them. Bishop Park, the home of Norths. And out come Norths, an important game for them with yet again more disruptions caused by a call-up from their top club, the Melbourne Storm.
Yes, Cameron Smith takes over the captaincy from the injured Wade Fenton. Cameron Smith, who's just been assured of going to Melbourne each week now to train with the Melbourne Storm. So it's a recognition of some great form he's been in recent weeks. Let's have a look at their side. Fafila Moala at fullback, Slade, Slater, Webster and Tajalala the 3-quarter line. Brentnell comes in to wear the number 14 and Cooper Cronk goes to the bench. Brentnell may well play half-back. JP Cherry in the number 7. Mason Smith and Filry. Interestingly enough, Filry actually played a bit of A-grade here this afternoon. So there's definitely been a late change to this North side. Gardner, Johnson and Amos, that's a strong back row. The coach is Terry Madison.
And out comes Ipswich, led out by their captain, Jamie Matthew. And they're having a wonderful season. They've worked really hard in the off-season and in the front office. They've done a tremendous amount of work in the last couple of years at Ipswich, and they've deserved the success that's coming their way this season. And Jamie Matthew, he's leading this team into uncharted waters, into a situation of being in a battle for semi-final positions, and they've got to be a really good chance now of finishing in the top 5. And there's the lineup. Chalk, Jack, Bulow, Allwood, West, Hannaway. Hannaway coming in for Brendan Lindsay at 5'8". Ricky Bird back there at halfback. Jamie Matthew, Coburn and McAllister up front. And then the back row with McCarthy coming into the team. Seibold, Hamilton and McCarthy. And Gary Granke is the coach of Ipswich. Referee is Tony Maxood. He refereed City Country a couple of weeks ago. And North will be running against the breeze first up.
Stay behind, guys. Don't overrun.
So Ipswich will have first use of it, and it will be significant.
Normally the referees are out before the team, so a little bit of mismatch here already today.
Kick-off taken by Cameron Smith. And on that far side, Ipswich running the ball out. And the first penalty is going to go immediately.
He's in trouble too. This is unsavoury. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. This guy is
turn around, mate.
Out cold.
Again, every time I seem to have you seem to go up high. Careless tackle, right up high. We're going to put it on report. All right, let's keep it down. Otherwise, you're not going to be on the field for too much longer.
Well, what an unsavoury incident. Is that Danny McAllister? Didn't seem to be a huge lot of impact there, but obviously McAllister in quite a bit of trouble. Getting to his feet now, which is a great sign. And standing there and getting a bit of water to refresh him from the trainers. So not the start that anyone was looking for here for this particular match. Let's hope things settle down. And this strong breeze at the back of Ipswich will help them find good touch.
Yeah, Keith Mason, the man who was warned, and the referee saying, well, I've seen you do it before, so you'll have to be very careful. Jamie Matthew caught just short of the halfway. So Ipswich are able to get out of their territory pretty quickly. Andrew Hamilton, a good run to take it now into North's territory. And we'll see what they do with it this time, using the big men once more. Danny McAllister seems to have recovered okay and has taken it 10 metres into North's half. Dale Robertson using the far side this time. That's tackle number 4, and they're 30 metres out, and they get another penalty. Well, that's a nice way to go downfield. And Warren Boland, they really are in a position, Ipswich, where the penalties have helped them, and the breeze will help them too.
2 in a row, the penalties, and they're going to take the 2. Going to take the 2 points on offer with a kick rather than go for the try. Get first points on the board, but that wind is certainly of assistance to Ipswich in this first half. It's reasonably strong. It's just calmed down a little for the moment, but reasonably strong and blowing to the far left-hand corner as we're looking at it, diagonally down the field to that far corner, and there could be a few shots for 40-20, but You look at the North's team and the loss of Wade Fenton, their strong front rower. Mitchell Sargent, an up-and-coming front rower, has been in very good form. And Henry Perinara, who has played plenty of games for the Storm, he's been pulled out and they headed to Melbourne. So those three players originally slotted into the team, now out. That does certainly take a bit of the starch out of the North's pack. Though they do have good replacements, we know that from the past. They're going to need them to be near their best today against this good Ipswich team.
Well, this decision is a real surprise to me. Over 30 metres out, this kid's a great kicker in Stephen West. And I would have thought back-to-back penalties would have been a great opportunity for Ipswich to really put some pressure on the home side. Instead, they've gone for the couple of points on offer. It's no gimme, but this guy is a very good kicker. Stephen West moves in, hits it very nicely, puts it through the middle. So the Jets have got off to a handy lead at this early minutes of the game, 2 points to nil.
Ipswich, the beneficiary of those two penalties. The first one for a high tackle, the second for roughing up the face of the player against North. So North will want to clean up their act pretty quickly.
Cameron Smith with the kick-off again. Oh, what happened there? Missed it. Maybe the ball rolled off the mount and he just didn't go through with it, but certainly looked unusual.
It's like one of my golf shots.
Yeah, no, they're all past the halfway and the ball was still back there. Deep kick and well taken back there. Here goes Big McAllister. Strong, powerful, and well met by the defence of North too, so that they catch him just 10 metres out from his own goal line. Matthew, the other big prop. 2 hit-outs and they've gone 15 metres. They have 2 points on the board after getting those couple of penalties early in the game. McCarthy forced backwards. Good defence. This has been good defence from North, these last few tackles. They just need to keep it up now, keep them pinned down there, and then be ready for the kick. And I can notice that Semi Tajalala has gone way back on the far side on the wing to be ready in case there's a 40-20 attempt. And there is one coming from Ricky Bird, but plenty of time for Fafita Mwala to take this ball forward.
Normally Brendan Lindsay would do a lot of the kicking for Ipswich. Ricky Bird looks like he'll be the one to take up those duties today.
Well, they have Stephen West too, of course, who we've seen kick effectively.
It's a huge kick of the ball, West, but of course has the slight disadvantage of playing on the right wing. It hasn't stopped the Jets before bringing him infield to make that kick downfield. Now the Devils, their first opportunity to show their wares as they bring it up over the halfway line. They'll realise better than anyone just how important this match is to them with such a critical stage of the season. Just past the almost the 2/3 point we are. That's now out there to Brentnell, one of the better kickers of the ball in the breeze today. It's going to be awkward. Oh, and awkward is an underestimation there for Stephen West.
Smart kick by Brendel, putting it up high into the sun. That player, Stephen West, looking straight into the sun, found the ball holding up in the wind and twisting around on him. He'd, in the end, overrun it as he went backwards and found himself knocking it forward. So smart kicking by Brendel. If you haven't got the wind, use the sun.
And Ipswich have won only one match against North in the history of the Queensland Cup. This might be their chance to pick up another one. Of course, they won that one match in the first round after North won their first 9 encounters.
Yep.
Brentnell puts it in up there to Cherry. Long pass out to Moala. A little bit of an opportunity here. Fires it out nicely there to Slade. And he's into touch. He's actually gone into touch and not touching goal. And Donovan Slade with a chance to scoot down the touch line. There wasn't much in it. He just got the ball down, but he'd already put his foot into touch. And Terry Madison would have been momentarily excited by that play as they created a half chance on the outside.
Good tackle from Michael Jack. He always looked as if he felt comfortable there against Slade. Even though Slade was close, Jack had him lined up against the sideline.
Yes, it was looking somewhat dangerous there for Ipswich, but North unable to get across. Ricky Bird's delivering the ball and through the hands of Seibold out further wide. Ipswich still 20 from halfway with a lot of work to do. And Danny McAllister's the man who's prepared to do that work. Down from dummy half from Dale Robertson, picking up Jamie Matthew. That's the 5th. So Ricky Bird is back behind the 40 again, and Matthew is not going to get up quickly here. So the Ipswich captain will receive some attention. Bird He steps outside the 40. And again, there's plenty of time for Fafita Moala taking that ball on his 10-metre line, and that's Semi Tajalala on the far side. He links up with him now, and Tajalala's got speed. Well done, Tajalala. Good run. But the player's been called up because of Jamie Matthews' injury.
There's 3 trainers around him at the moment. He's in quite a bit of difficulty. Jamie Matthews right in front of you, Warren. Did you see anything peculiar in the tackle?
I didn't see the point of impact, but it certainly hurt him. Struggling to play the ball a moment ago, and it doesn't look too good from the reaction of his teammates and the trainers. So it could be the knee, the way they're examining that right knee.
He's as tough as they come. Here it is on replay, Jamie Matthew. Well, there's just nothing obvious in that. Cleansing blow as players came over the top of him, but I think it is that right leg that they're trying to work on. He is as tough as they come, the skipper Jamie Matthews, so he's obviously in a spot of bother. He's got a heavy strapping, or let's say a strapping around that right thigh, which is an interesting strapping in itself. I've got no idea what that is meant to do.
Well, the rugby players use it to help with the lifting, but I don't think that's necessary in rugby league.
We can discount that. So anyway, good effort here from Matthew to get back to his feet, and it looks like he will take his place back in the defensive line.
Extraordinary effort from Norths in the A-grade game before this. They defeated Ipswich 70 points to 6. That's a hammering for Ipswich. I noticed Reggie Crestbrook was selected in that Ipswich team, but I'm not so sure that he took the field. I couldn't see him out there towards the end of the game anyway.
Ball carted forward by Keith Mason, 5 short of the halfway. North's in possession, trailing by 2 points to 0. On that short side, there's not a lot of room, and Billy Slater caught just after crossing into Ipswich territory. Mason again. That's the 5th. What will they come up with? Kicking against the breeze. Cameron Smith putting it fairly high. And Andrew Hamilton working the ball out. Caught about 10 metres out from his own line.
Play the ball.
He complains that he was interfered with. He's got up to play the ball. Marshall Chalk had no difficulty initially getting the ball, and then there was a bit of interference there, but he certainly didn't get his own balance back. I think he just allowed a fairly untidy play the ball himself, and probably was at fault. Down the blind side, Timmy Tajalala. Semi goes very close, couple of metres out. Great chance for the Devils to get their first points on the board. They work a blind side. Good defence, from Ipswich as they rush up, and you've got to, in that situation, Andrew Hamilton got up there quickly. Clint Amos, I think it is, who's standing only a metre or so from the line. It was Mason, actually. Dummying run here from Brentnell, who is playing at half-back, wearing 14. Cherry. Pass out there to Dallas Johnson, who, interestingly enough, was the only representative player that Norths had in the city side this year. I think they do better than that. Little grubber kick through there by, I think it was Walker. Good strong defence too, as they rush through to make the tackle in the in-goal area. No, it was actually Curry who put the kick in.
And a very good chase following that kick through too, to make the most of it. Glanced off the post here. It looked as if it was going to go too long, but that caused problems for Ipswich. But the chase was there to nail him. 3 of them there in the end. Good chase on the kick.
Interesting the way he went to pick that ball up. He actually grounded it in the action of picking the ball up. And the referee appeared to allow play to proceed until the tackle was effectively made.
Steve West with the dropout. And here come Norths now building up a head of steam. Thrashing forward there, Pat Gardner. 35 out Norths. They've done a bit of attacking. They'd like to come up with the opening try of the game if they could. Clint Amos tackled inside the 30. And keeping it going on the right now, Brentnell. Well covered by the Ipswich defence, including Jamie Matthews. So it's good to see that he's okay after that bit of an injury. Short pass there from JP Cherry. Look at that defence from Ipswich.
Much improved Ipswich defence. At the start of the year, they weren't strong in that department.
And it was Dallas Johnson that they were up on there. Semi Tajalala has made some impressive runs so far. And look how close he is to the line. Only about 3 or 4 metres short. So Norths, Brentnell for the kick across field. This will be interesting. The ball is high. Pressure is on well and truly. It's been spilt. If a Norths player can dive on it, it'll be a try. Picked up by Michael Jack. And Jack will try and get into the field of play and does so.
Great effort there from Michael Jack. No doubt one of the most talented players in the Queensland Cup for mine. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get a call from one of the NRL clubs, because he had a lot of work to do. There was a real mess there, the way the ball was bouncing around. Jack picks it up with absolutely nowhere to go. Have a look at this for great evasion and intent to get out of the in-goal area. Michael Jack, 10 points.
That's another good kick from Brendel. They kick it high into that wind, holding up. The bomb was there. It would have been a North try if they'd got that ball first.
Fifth tackle, and they've gone nowhere. The Jets. Bird has to get a pretty hurried kick in. It's going to go nowhere, even though they've basically got the breeze at their back. And Slade comes back up over the halfway line. Jake Webster has scored a lot of tries for the Devils this year, even though he was out injured for a while. Takes a settler out of dummy half. Work the blind side again. Gets it alive as well. The Devils are keen to run hard today. There's a real intent in their running. Pass up this time to Amos. Amos steps, gets it to the 20. That's only the third tackle. Great opportunity for the Devils as they go down a blind side through Cameron Smith. That is the fourth. There to Brentnell. Cherry to Webster. Webster breaks the tackle. The try scorer. Oh, no! Just short. Jake Webster cut down. Last tackle up to Brentnell. Another rocket cross field. Beautiful kick again. Oh, Semi Chadjalala has dropped it. And it'll be a handover, but once again Brentnell with pinpoint accuracy in a very tricky breeze.
Right there.
Semi Tadjalata scored 3 tries last week. He was after another one here. Couldn't quite take it as the ball dropped away from him. Moala scored 2 tries. In fact, last week, North scored a total of 8 tries, but only kicked 2 goals. So the score could have been even bigger last week when they defeated West.
Well, Brentnell doing very well kicking into the breeze, and you wonder what he might be able to do with the breeze behind him as well. But they have been excellent kicks and putting real pressure on Ipswich, who probably fairly fortunate to have been able to keep Norths out. But they lead by 2 points to nil as Ricky Bird tries one from well inside his 40. Tadjalala right underneath it. He was back there ready for that. And again, they have to get him early, otherwise he can really get away. And Tadjalala's been injured here.
No, he steamrolled the defender, Jerry. He's the man standing, and that was an extremely powerful run there by Tadjalala, who's done that every time he's carted the ball up today. It's the era of the big, powerful wingers. Tadjalala, strong action.
Aaron Bulow it is. He's just flattened him.
I think his head's hit the ground as he was going backwards at a rate of knots.
Just caught him up under the chin too as he bumped him away. I don't think there was anything illegal in it. Let's have another look.
No, it's not.
Changes a bit of direction. Has the forearm out in front, so I don't see any particular problem with that. It was just, as Warren said, Bulow just driven backwards. And
well, that's the disadvantage of taking a man high. Everyone wants to wrap up the ball, but Aaron Bulow there, he's gone in more or less to grab him and take him down rather than hit him hard. Rather than meeting his momentum with some force of his own, he's just tried to carry him to the ground, and he's going backwards, and his head is slammed into the ground.
A real indication of how physical Norths are intending to play the game today. They got a penalty from the very first play where they came in a little bit high, and they really had intent to run extremely hard. And it looks like Aaron Bulow is going to need a bit of a spell on the touchline. But Norths playing a very physical game as Kerry Thurkoff stands beside his coach and Gary Grinke.
It's a good point you make about the physical, aggressive nature Norths are bringing to the game through their forwards. They have been very tough from the outset, but that's also leading to quick play the balls. They're very quick back up off the ground because Ipswich are not able to dominate him
in the face. Okay, simple as that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know, but unfortunately you hit his head, so it's got to be unreported for penalty. You need to be careful of what you're doing, okay?
Tadjalala just gets a little bit of a word of warning about where he carries that free arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot easier if you go lower, isn't it, David? I know every coach wants you to tackle high and try and wrap up the ball, but when a guy's coming at you flat out like that, I reckon you're entitled to go low, hit him hard, and he's going to crash to ground quickly without time to pass it anyway, unless he's a very skillful player.
Especially if you're a smaller man, Warren, against a guy as big as Tadjalala.
He is a semi, isn't he? And a very fast one at that. One of those speedway trucks just about.
And a penalty is gone for that running action of Tadjalala.
And that gives North a chance now, Ipswich rather, a chance 15 metres out. Matthew playing the ball, and on the short side, is there some room over there? There's certainly not much room, and good defence from North, just bundling Ipswich into touch.
Over the line.
Excellent work, and there was just no way through there for Anthony Seibold.
It's a favourite little play. Have a look at the action there of JP Cherry holding up Seibold and then allowing his teammates to push him into touch. But Ipswich this year have consistently enjoyed taking a settler from the tap and then punching down a short blind side. Norths were ready.
So Norths having withheld that attacking fray. Now they find themselves being forced backwards. So the defence from both teams here has certainly been impressive in the early part of the match. And I guess if you look at the fact that we've had 15 minutes of play and no tries yet, that probably shows that. Here's Walker. Well met by Matthew over the top. And look at that encouragement as well from Danny Coburn. Patting Matthew on the back to say well done. That's Trent McHugh. Caught on his own 30. Cameron Smith keeps the ball moving to the left for North. That's the fifth tackle now. Here goes Brentnell again. What'll he try this time? Across field to West's wing. They might try and pepper West, especially after he came up with that spill early. But he is a pretty safe player, Steve West. Not a lot of him.
Nice shot again.
Tackle, get him down. Get out
Just only a careless tackle as Billy Slater came through to make the tackle.
I thought West was falling here. Let's have a look. So he's at an angle 45 degrees falling. Okay, the arm certainly caught him in the head, but you know, I mean, how are you supposed to tackle him? It would have normally been around the waist, except West, the small man, is falling down. Stumbling, in fact, was West.
It's a message from Tony Maxu too that he wants to get a little bit of control of this game. It's just got a little bit of a feeling about it that they're going to butt a few heads here. In metaphoric terms.
Maybe even in a few realistic terms.
Now the Jets get it up inside the 40. Danny Coburn, little play there with Matthew. Matthew keeps it alive. Out there to Hinaway, I think it was. Third tackle, so they're in good attack position, the Jets. They haven't enjoyed a lot of attack ball near the Devils try line. Ricky Bird. Long pass out here to Richard Allwood, but well wrapped up there by Webster. Last tackle. See if they put a little bit back in terms of a high ball with this breeze. Ricky Bird instead decides to just chip it through, and it's read pretty well. One-on-one strip, picked up immediately by Matthew. Great chance here. Andrew Hamilton tries the big step, driving defence, put him backwards. Hamilton played, I'm sure, for North here a year or so ago, so he's back against his old club. They try and work out of a dummy half, but can go nowhere there because there's plenty of defence. It's a terrific opportunity here for the Jets to get the first try of the match. McAllister comes back into the middle of the ruck again, and there's a welcoming committee there. Set to come wide. They decide to use a blind again. Danny Coburn again cut down. They're really intent to punch close to the ruck. They go blindside again. Long pass out this time. Dive for the corner.
West, I think, is it? Yes.
And we're going to go to the video referee. It's almost too easy if he snuck in there in the corner. He certainly dived low to try and avoid any defenders, but he almost seemed to be
now we're checking the lines. The grounding
unmatched. I'd say he's got this. Not a problem for mine. West has got in the corner, and Tajalala just gave him a little bit too much room to move.
It's been awarded, so Steve West scores the first try of the match after kicking the opening points with a penalty goal, and he will attempt to convert his own try from out wide. It was important that having this opportunity that Ipswich take advantage of it. It was quick hands. Hamilton sent it on to Seibold, and Seibold could see Steve West out there, and as David said, Tajalala gave him a little bit of room, and he said thank you very much. We'll see it again here. There's the pass from Seibold. Tajalala had gone in, and as he came out, it was just both players doing a little bit of dancing, both the attacker and the defender. And West was able to step around Tajalala and come up with that try to give the Jets a 6-0 lead. Just a short time ago, they were up there and attacking, and Seibold was forced into touch on about the second or third tackle, which from a set of 6, which might have led to a try. So it was important that they convert it this time, and they've been able to do so.
Got that from a stealing on a one-on-one situation, which allowed them to get back-to-back sixes. So Ipswich have taken good advantage of this territorial position.
And that was the captain, Matthew, that came up with that strip, showing his strength. Now Steve West attempting to convert, coming back beautifully. 8-0 in favour of the Jets.
Ipswich have had pretty good field position, partly due to the penalties that have gone their way, and certainly that strip helped matters as they came up with the ball relatively unexpectedly. The dive for the corner, it's almost like a dummy half going over where the man marking him was just not quite able to get down low enough. Here is the strip, is it? Just after the kick, when Ricky Bird put the kick through. JP Cherry brings it back. Jamie Matthew goes in hard, rips it out one-on-one just before McAllister got there, said the referee, and that was the opportunity for Ipswich.
Your perception about penalties, Warren, spot on. 4-0 in favour of Ipswich, the penalties at the moment, and that's against the home side. Ipswich now to work their way out of their own territory. Jamie Matthew, who had a right leg injury about 5 or 10 minutes ago, seems to have fully recovered. Kerry Thurkoff almost up to the 40. Good quick play the ball, although it was a little bit messy at the foot. And the referee calls for a tidier play the ball as Anthony Seibold gets it almost to the halfway. On the 5th, Seibold's in a bit of trouble as well. Up to Hamilton, it's a shocker off the right-hand side of the boot, and what is it going to do? It finally goes into touch, but a rather poor outcome from the Jets when they really could have kept a bit more pressure on.
Especially when you've got a breeze behind you, and that kick just going nowhere. And it didn't come from one of their recognised kickers either. So Brentnell now, JP Cherry.
Isn't he a useful player, JP Cherry? He can fit in everywhere. He's a Mr. Fix-It for Norths. He'll play half, 5'8", lock, second row, hooker, just about anywhere he can do the job for them.
And we saw him playing for years in similar sorts of roles at Redcliffe too, of course. It's Nick Walker, 5 metres into North's territory. Cameron Smith, Brentnell. And the cutout pass from Brentnell to JP Cherry over the top, looking for Tajalala in the clear now. Tajalala, good strong run again by the big winger. 22 out, he goes to ground. And here they come again. JP Cherry, Brentnell. Oh, nice offload and a try to Dallas Johnson. What a comeback from Norths. The Devils are in, and that was a sensational length of the field try. You could go back to good quick movement of the ball across to Tajalala. His excellent run. And how about the way Johnson ran onto that pass to score North's first try, so that it's now 8-4.
It's great to see the young kids use their skills after Tajalala had made that great break down the far side. Have a look at Brentnell, who we saw make his debut here a few weeks ago. Little look on the inside, and then he puts Dallas Johnson, who, as I said, was the only player to represent from the North Devils this year in the city side. He's only a kid. He's got a great future in the game, and the ability to gap run, to sit on the outside of a ball handler like Mark Brentnell, and don't underestimate the little dummy on the inside. You watch Andrew Johns set up players, almost without exception. He looks to do the opposite first, and then comes up with his favoured play as Cameron Smith converts to get the Devils well and truly back into this match. And the young kids are the ones who've created the opportunity for the try.
Simple but effective. Cherry gets it out to Brentnell. Here's the play, the little show on the outside. Thurkoff in defence went for the second of the 2 runners coming off Brentnell, but it was the first one. Dallas Johnson off the shoulder of Brentnell, hitting the gap hard, powers his way straight into the open space and over for the try.
Time you run.
North's kicking off. Brendan Curry.
And Jerry, the importance of finishing your 6 as well. If we go back to the poor kick by Andrew Hamilton, which allowed North to get possession almost on the halfway line, and then from there, with only the challenge of 50 metres to score a try, it's far more achievable. And a 90-metre effort inside 6 tackles. Again, the Devils on the attack again. Nice pass here out to Moala. Moala cutting away from defenders, going for the corner. Fafita Moala in the corner. What a beautiful effort there by Moala as they busted up the middle, the Devils. The ref's going to go to the video referee just as a double check that Moala deserves this after going through himself initially or in backup and then cutting left to bamboozle defenders. He then set sight for the corner.
Here he is, Fafita Moala, getting close to the end there, and oh, that might not be a try. Looks like he's hit the corner post before he's got the ball down, I think.
Well, Eddie Ward wants another look at it. Big man up the middle there, and McHugh, beautiful back up there from Fafita Moala. Look at him cut away. But this angle won't probably help our video referee as much as the first. I think he's got to go back and have another look at the front on for mine. And
yeah, you're not going to be able to read it from that. But here we go. Close to the line, his left hand. Ooh.
Was that post? No, it only just started to move.
There are
now the
shadows
post is
and
already
everything,
bent.
aren't there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, benefit of the doubt.
No,
maybe his arm is on the line, I think. Let's see what the video referee reckons. This is one of the closest ones that we've had in the Queensland Cup. You could only get a try out of benefit of the doubt, and that's what he's got.
Eddie Ward, the video ref.
So Fafita Moala gets the try, and Ipswich suddenly find that they're behind. It took them a while to score their first try, and immediately Norths have answered with 2. And here we see it again, Cameron Smith, without looking, offloading the pass, and then a good offload from Trent McHugh to Fafita Moala, who has that skill and step, and the step very much on display there. Heading for the corner, the desperate dive by Marshall Chalk and Steve West. Thought they might have got him into the post. So close that in the end the referee has said, well, benefit of the doubt goes with the attacking team. Try to Norths.
Back-to-back tries in a matter of about 60 seconds.
Difficult conversion for Cameron Smith. Right on the sideline and against the breeze. It's hanging up, flagged away. No goal. Score remains 10-8 in favour of Norths.
Exciting football. No tackle actually missed here around the ruck. It's the smart positioning here of Cameron Smith. Draws and passes. Great work, McHugh. And excellent positional backing up from the fullback, Moala. And look at him run, doesn't he go? Beautiful step into the open spaces. Chalk and also West came at him late but couldn't stop him. That's a great try.
Yeah, Steve West there perhaps underestimated Fafita Moala, because as he cut away, West just seemed to be trying to corral him toward the touchline, and just as he was underestimated by his opposing winger in Semi Tajalala for his try, West, I think he might have just underestimated the speed and ability of Fafita Moala.
In saying there was no tackle missed close to the ruck, you would think Ipswich had questioned why they didn't have an extra forward in tight. It seemed a little too easy for McHugh to stroll through.
Ed Mason caught about 8 short of halfway. On that short side goes Dallas Johnson. He's scored a try already for Norths today and has taken it into Ipswich's territory. Cameron Smith. Awkwardly bouncing ball, comfortably taken though by Marshall Chalk. Stepping out of one attempted tackle, but is nabbed by Billy Slater.
Almost watching this game, it's got this feel about it that Norths know they're the team that's 2 points behind their opponents, and vice versa. And Ipswich are going to need to, I think, lift their intensity. Norths are really outgunning them in terms of intensity in this match so far.
McCarthy playing the ball. Chris Anderson just short of halfway. Now Bird from outside his 40. And Fafita Moala, will we see another run from him? No, he'll let that ball go across the dead ball line so that Norths can bring it back to the 20-metre line for a tap.
I didn't miss that cheap shot.
Got a bit of a problem, Ipswich. If they are going to look for a 40-20, they're going to be kicking it straight to Semi Tajalala, who's positioning himself very deep there. And they've already seen early in this game what a good runner he is, and they're probably reluctant to kick it in that direction.
So Norths bring it out again. 10-8 in favour of Norths. About 13 minutes or so left in this first half. That's Trent McHugh. Sent the last pass to Fafita Moala for the previous try. Cameron Smith holding up the pass. The Devils have played some good footy. They'll be keen to keep it going. There's more pressure on them because they're in 5th spot, and then there's a group of about 4 or 5 teams immediately knocking heavily on the door. Clint Amos, 15 now into the Jets territory. Cameron Smith, Fafita Moala, danger man again. The little grubber is knocked on by West. Or is it Chalk? Marshall Chalk has come up with the knock on.
Geez, a good little dummy half, Cameron Smith. He just stepped out of dummy half and held the marker. It's
14.
something so important if you can do it. Not all dummy halves have got the ability to do it.
No, I had it covered.
Moala away, and then very quickly Moala put the ball on his boot. Almost surprised Chalk. Possession favouring the Devils, and they've been against the breeze, so that all helps. Tagalala straight through! The big man who's been threatening was unstoppable out there. He's up against a guy who's about half his size, and Semi Tagalala, he'd probably match up with Lottie Takiri in the Bok Stakes. Blast through the defensive line, one-on-one defence at the scrum. Great chance to use your strength in that sort of situation. Billy Slater just gave it to the big man, and poor old Steve West, well, he was little chance to stop that powerhouse, Semi Tagalala, and Norths have put 3 tries on in a matter of about 10 minutes to really put their stamp on the game.
Yes, there it is again. Just quick hands to the short side with the scrum feed. It was picked up by Brentnell. You could see that that's where the chance was, and why wouldn't you feed Semi Tagalala all day? Especially, as David pointed out, the difference in size and power that he has over his opposite number. So Semi Tagalala scoring another try for Norths. They've come in pretty quick time after it took them so long to score their first. Cameron Smith is at least getting a little bit closer to the posts. Certainly doesn't make it any easier against this strong breeze, and again he misses the conversion. The score remains 14-8 in favour of Norths over Ipswich.
A lot of strong attacking pressure coming from Norths. Ipswich faltering with the knock on and opening the door, attacking from close. Slater just feeds it up, and Stephen West was almost too far forward. He'd come forward to try and close down Tagalala, but the pass was held up. Tagalala going past West before he was able to attempt the tackle. Just overran him virtually in defence.
10 minutes to go to half-time, and Ipswich letting this game get away from them a little bit.
It is a mismatch in size on that right wing, isn't it? Stephen West, one of the smaller players on the field, and Tagalala, very tall and strong.
Well, Ipswich are going to have to address that, because Norths presumably came in with that intent, and now they see it working. You can rest assured there's going to be plenty of work down that right-hand side defence.
That's McHugh, 15 from halfway. Cameron Smith had a runner going with him, but takes the tackle himself, and that's the 5th. Brentnell into the breeze again, this time a little deeper, but Chalk's in good position, although the ball eluded him, and Steve West will pick it up right back on the goal line. So another good kick from Brentnell, and here it is again, West on Tagalala.
He was almost going to do a
push him down, get
Gordon
out.
Tallis. But of course Tallis has never stopped any momentum in that state of origin. Tagalala made the tackle. The tackle was affected there. You can't then drag a second time. Actually got penalised for actually and ultimately pushing him to the ground, and the penalties continue to be dominated. 5-0.
It's saying there's a mismatch on that wing. I guess you've got to say Stephen West scored 1 try against Tagalala when he dived past him. It's a bit like the mouse and the elephant.
I'd rather be the elephant. Now the Jets to bring it up over the halfway line. They've had little attack ball, so they'd like nothing more than to rectify things at the moment. Out of dummy half goes Robertson.
That was suspiciously high, that tackle.
Keep him down, McAllister. Dives under that tackle. Held again. Again, very aggressive defence by the Devils. And it's really stinging Ipswich at the moment, in a way. Their bounces comfortably for Donovan Slade. Let's see if the Jets are prepared to be just as aggressive in defence. Mawala gets on the outside again. JP Cherry tries to pass out to Slater. Semi-Tagelaro over his shoulder. Play on though. Just into touch now. So they're creating opportunities. They may rue that error.
Danny Coburn found himself defending out there in the centres on the right-hand side. Just wondering where he's filling in at the moment. Originally, he was going to pack in as hooker. But he came up with a bit of at least a rush in defence there to put a bit of pressure on North.
Here come North End now. Ricky Bird flicking it to Chalk. 20 metres out. Can Ipswich score a try? McCarthy. Oh, nicely able to get rid of the pass too. Back to Robertson. 10 metres out. Dummy half is Allwood. Ricky Bird. Change of direction here. But still the defence from North is strong.
Yeah, go away, go away.
6-0 the penalties now in favour of Ipswich.
And Tony Maxsood is, I think, just about at the end of his tether. That was a silly action there to actually dislodge the ball.
Whistle, you know what's next, okay? Sick of blowing a whistle. Yep.
Sick of blowing the whistle, so there's a bit of a subtle warning there.
And Chris Anderson is very close, just about 1 metre short of the line. Robertson will go to the left. McCarthy back to Robertson. Ducking around Robertson. Can't get there. Allwood. Bird. Straightening up goes Danny McAllister. But the defence came forward effectively. Ricky Bird. And away. Hamilton, nice change of direction back to Chalk. Still about 8 out. Bird. Well, that gobber from Bird is going to come to nothing as Cherry picks up the crumbs, and that's the end of that attacking foray from Ipswich. But have they got the scrum feed?
Yes, they have, Jerry. It's been called as played at, which I think is a fairly well,
loose use of the term.
There's a 50-50 call there because the ball was kicked very strongly into him. He was reacting to the bouncing ball as much as playing at it. Hamilton from the base of the scrum, always hard to stop. Hamilton been in sensational form this year, especially in the try-scoring stakes. Poor pass that one, picked up there by Chris Anderson. The defence rushing up at him. North's been quick play the ball too, didn't put him to ground, up to Ricky Bird. Ricky Bird throws the dummy back on the inside, fires the pass out there to Michael Jack. He's dangerous. Wasn't actually Michael Jack out on that side. Might have been Henaway. Driven back, popped up there to Robertson. Robertson's going to have a go himself, going to go close. Fourth tackle, 2 to survive for the Devils. They're thin out here if they can get it out wide. Ricky Bird tries the little grubber kick in behind, but well read here by Donovan Slade. Donovan Slade, can he get out of his end goal area? No. So some good pressure build up here from the Jets as they decide patience is the way to go. They might try and wear down the Devils because they can't punch straight through them.
Another little kick from Ricky Bird. Keeps the pressure on. Beautiful hands there from Slade. He moved beautifully, but the defence was there. And then Danny Coburn around the legs to make the tackle.
And Ricky Bird, as David said, deciding to try patience to, again, try and force that goal line dropout if you couldn't come up with the try, and he's done that effectively. But they've got to come back again.
Good kick into the wind. That's gone to the halfway.
Super kick.
And over the top of Henaway, and he finds himself back on his own 30-metre line. That is just superb. And it means that any advantage that Ipswich got out of getting that goal line dropout is certainly dissipated now. Chris Anderson just short of the halfway. Robertson. McCarthy. Bird. Ricky Bird going by himself. Force backwards, so 40 metres out. Henaway. Hamilton. And his grubber kick. Semi Tajalala's back for it again. Look out, here comes the Semi. Caught on his own 20.
Kicking on the fourth tackle there too, Hamilton, trying to catch them a little bit unawares. But North's read that pretty well. They'll be relieved there. That was a critical set of 12 tackles they've been able to hold out and retain the lead at 14-8, which comprises 3 tries to 1.
And they can go back to that excellent goal line dropout.
Yes, that was an amazing... I mean, you wouldn't get 70 metres with the breeze on most occasions. McHugh fires the pass up, punishing defence here from the Devils, but a penalty is going to go... Punishing defence, I should say, from the Jets. It's Dallas Johnson getting up with a smile on his face, but he was pounded in that tackle. And the high tackle is the ruling now.
And Terry Madison would be saying, thank you very much, we've got a penalty.
Now, what do they do with these set moves? They're a bit rusty on their set plays. They bring it forward, the Devils. Great chance to extend their lead. Big man, Pat Gardner, pops it out the back, bounces a couple of times. North sitting back on their heels, really waiting for the next play. JP Cherry, little bit of room to move, cut down inside the 10. Good quick play, the ball to keep the pressure going. Smith, little play out of dummy half. Cut down there is Mark Brentnell. Cameron Smith to Cherry. Can he go all the way himself? Good tackle in the end, but beautiful pass up. Held up, I think. The Devils have been held up. They got across the try line.
Yeah, big Pat Gardner. It was excellent work by JP Cherry. He was almost through himself, was able to get the pass to big Pat Gardner, but the defence of the Jets organised enough to get underneath him.
You've got to give credit. You've got to give credit to that Ipswich defence holding out through that set. They've been under pressure, but they keep aiming up as well. It's a good battle between the two packs. North have got the edge, but Ipswich are still coming at them hard. There's the completion rate. Excellent by both teams. They've only given away 4 out of 20 and 21.
Here come the Devils again. They try a little blindside play up this time. Quick play, the ball's required. Tajalala, the big man, going to go himself again. Driven back, turned on his back and held up again. So it'll be another loose head and feed to the Devils. There's no doubt this Jets defence has improved about 300% from what it was very early in the season, and a big improvement must go well, obviously to the players, but also Grinky, who's got a real pattern working now. But this will test them again.
And if they're going to be a semi-final team, well, they're going to have that sort of defence. Here they come again. Brentnell, almost there. You can see how close he was, just within a couple of metres. JP Cherry turning it back inside, but again they can't get through this rock-solid defence of the Jets. The Devils, JP Cherry flicking the pass back to Billy Slater, and there Slater is just 3 or 4 out. Over the line, JP Cherry, but once again just held out enough. Billy Slater with a long pass to Brentnell. Another long pass from Brentnell on the far side across to McHugh. Little rubber kick through. Tajalala and Steve West collide, but the ball evades them both.
Well, it evaded because it was a savage bounce. A little grubber kick in behind. It can go anywhere.
Who's got the feed here?
I think it'll be Ipswich.
They need it, don't they? Half-time only seconds away, but they wouldn't want to have to hold North out again. And
North are standing deep.
Got it.
Yeah, North are standing deep. They must have the feed.
And yet it looked like Tajalala was the last man to touch that ball as it went forward and
don't break early
across the line. So here they go again. JP Cherry getting the pass away now, looking for a way through. Billy Slater. 8 metres out. Half-time hooter's gone, and that will be half-time.
Very quick half-time too.
Waste too much time once the hooter had gone. So North have a 6-point advantage after 40 minutes of football. They will have the assistance of the breeze, and yet you wonder whether the breeze is having a huge impact on the game. We'll be back shortly with the highlights of the first half. At half-time, it's North 14, Ipswich 8. Welcome back to Bishop Park. Very good game here. Just a converted try, the difference, 14-8 in favour of Ipswich over North. And Ipswich will be running against the breeze in the second half with the job in front of them. North, of course, know this ground very well. And as they come out, just to check on the other games in the Queensland Cup this weekend, this afternoon at Davies Park, South's playing Wynnum tonight. West's against North Queensland. The Comets Bay East Coast up at Brown Park at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Toowoomba against Burleigh, and that's the lead-up game to the Broncos match at ANZ Stadium. That'll be a beauty and a vital one for those two teams. And Logan meet Redcliffe tomorrow afternoon as well at Meakin Park.
Right, Cameron?
Referee Tony Maxsood ready for the second half.
Yes, he's staticky down there.
Coming up at full time in this match, we've got Premier Rugby as well, so don't turn your TV off when this game is finished, because the first match of the Premier Rugby season features Jeeps against Brothers, and it's a pretty exciting game as well. So lots of footy action coming your way right through the afternoon here on ABC television. North 15 from halfway. Walker. Tackle about 6 or 7 short of the halfway line. Smith linking up with McHugh, and here's a good run now by Aaron Buelow, and a good strong run by Billy Slater rather, and over he goes for a try. So Slater is over, and North have opened the second half with a quick try to make it 18-8.
Oh, beautiful build up in the middle of the ruck again. Cameron Smith, one pace out of dummy half again, drew the marker. The big fellow McHugh stood in the tackle. Oh, look at this, sucked the marker in. Gives McHugh a little bit of chance to do some great work there. Back on the inside to Billy Slater. I thought all he had to do was set up Semi-Tadulala, but instead the big step there by Billy Slater takes him away from Marshall Chalk. And he goes around to improve the position, and North now have put on 4 tries straight in this match.
Down on the sideline, Warren Boland is with Terry Madison, the coach of North.
Terry, great way to start the second half there with that try, but it's a real battle going on out there, isn't there, between the two forward packs?
Yeah, there is. You know, they're the forward pack at the moment, and it's up to our guys to come out and stamp their authority. So no, it's been a good start, and there's a long way to go. There's plenty of character in this Ipswich team.
It's an important game for you in 5th position, and they looked very aggressive, very determined as they started the game today. Yeah,
they did. We've had a good week's training. A couple of weeks ago we had a terrible performance against Burleigh, and you know, it's good to see him come out. There is a lot riding on this game, but yeah, every game's 2 points, and this one gets us close to Ipswich.
There's a break by Trent McHugh out to Billy Slater. McHugh also had a hand in the first half. He's a good-looking player.
Yeah, he is. It's taken him a while to get going. We brought him off the bench today, so he's certainly enjoyed it so far.
The penalties are going 6-1 against you. What are you going to do about that?
Behind.
I don't think we're doing a great deal wrong. Obviously, Tony doesn't think that way. Maybe he's watching the game last night. But we've just got to be careful there, and we can't afford to give away too many or they'll get back in there.
You've had late changes to the lineup again this week, sort of with the Melbourne Storm sorting out their lineup. But despite those changes, the team seem to be functioning and working very well together out there.
Yeah, they are. The main thing, you know, our halfback and hooker have been pretty solid for us the last couple of weeks. So if we haven't got changes around the halves, you know, it helps out. JP Cherry's been back with us as well. He's made a big difference.
All right, Terry, all the best.
Thanks, Warren.
Terry Madison, coach of North. And North's in possession. Bratnell with the offload. Dallas Johnson. That's the 5th tackle. The kick will probably be from behind the 40, but they run it across there. JP Cherry with the offload, and it's gone on the far side to Donovan Slade. Now that's sent Ipswich backwards, that kick through. And Marshall Chalk held about, how far? He's about 25 out from his own line. This is Aaron Buelow.
North are here to play physical football, and if Ipswich aren't prepared to match it, they'll get beat for sure.
Well, it's interesting that North have opened the scoring in this second half as Brian McCarthy takes the ball forward for Ipswich. And Ipswich have all the work in front of them, and their coach Gary Grenke is with Warren.
Gary, North came at you very hard early on. It looked as if your fellas were, I suppose, stunned for a moment, but then quickly responded hard and came back at them.
Yeah, that's correct. It doesn't help when you don't control the ball in your own half. It's easy for the opposition forward pack to dominate. And they did that early, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. But nevertheless, as I say, I thought you came back at them hard. Were you happy with the first half?
Oh, not really. You only get about 6 or 7 attacking options in the scoring end of the field, and we didn't stick to our game plan. The execution of some of that was pretty ordinary.
In what way? What parts of the game plan weren't followed through?
Our particular attacking structure when we get down there wasn't followed to what we've been used to. With respect to a couple of new guys in the ball handling positions.
You might be speaking of Josh Henaway. He seemed to be settling down and getting more involved in the game towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, he's growing in confidence, Josh. It's his first start in the at this level, and I've got plenty of confidence in him. I think he's a good kid.
One problem for you was Cameron Smith, their dummy half, ducking out and attracting a bit of defence, but then slipping passes away. What are you working on there?
Well, Cameron's a very good player. You know, it doesn't surprise me that he played his NRL debut at halfback. He's that good a player, and we've got to ensure that on quick play the balls that he hasn't got that latitude to take advantage of the situation.
Anything else they've got to fix?
Oh yeah, our line speed, because they're working over our right side on their left, they're working over that edge pretty well. We've got to ensure that our line speed is maintained so that they can't get the quick play the ball on the edge.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Thanking you.
Gary Granke, coach of Ipswich. Andrew Hamilton, change of angle, and a beautiful pass to Marshall Chalk. Chalk, can he go all the way? Back across there to Ricky Bird. Bird tackled 5 metres out. Marshall Chalk again, and that's the fifth tackle, is it? Back inside to Hamilton, hit hard, and out wide a try. Over in the corner goes Michael Jack, and Ipswich have scored an excellent try just when they needed it. And now it's 20-12.
That's one of the tries of the season in a two-part play. The initial bust from 50 metres out, where Hamilton put Chalk away, and then to follow it up, here it is here, Hamilton, the dummy, and then the timing of that second pass up to Chalk. He looked on the outside for Ricky Bird as defence converged by Slater. Bird got cut down as well, but Ipswich realising the opportunities on the outside. I'm pretty sure Hamilton has another part to play out here. No, it isn't, it's Bulow. Back up there it is, Hamilton. Well, there's a good effort from Hamilton, who started it all in midfield, and then a beautiful little flick up there to Michael Jack. That is a fantastic team try, that by Ipswich. It took them over 50 metres. Norths have scored 2 50-metre tries themselves today, and Ipswich showing that they can do the same. They needed to hit back there and then, and they've gone to their go-to man, and that's Andrew Hamilton, who's playing better football than I've ever seen him play. I had the pleasure of coaching him back in the early 90s at Brothers. He was a young kid. He also played with the Crushers, and he's a very talented player, Andrew Hamilton, and right at the top of his form. And that was just a really well executed try that took the skills of Andrew Hamilton in both plays leading up to that to create it all.
Steve West 2 from 2, but this is the toughest one he's had, right into the breeze. The coaches must start liking us now, because most of the time when they're being interviewed by Warren, they have a try scored against them, but both coaches have had a try scored for them while they were talking to Warren, and that kick is way away from the uprights. The score remains 20-12 in favour of Norths.
Exciting football, and 2 tries early in this half, one apiece. Here they are, Ipswich, with Hamilton coming back on that angle, and gets the pass away. Leighton over in the corner goes Jack, finishing it beautifully, but it was the sweeping move from halfway, which involved Hamilton and Chalk and Bird, that was spectacular. I think Richard Allwood also involved in that. By the way, Aaron Bulow is still suffering some effects from that knock he took in the first half.
Ricky Bird taking the ball, and Danny McAllister running it out. That was a beautiful flick pass by Hamilton as well, after the good work that he did in setting up the run for Marshall Chalk, but the way he just flicked that pass out straight to Michael Jack on the wing was superb. Dale Robertson just looking and see if there might be a runner or there might be an opening that he could straighten up, but wasn't there. McCarthy running well onto that ball. He had a man outside him as well, and that was Bulow, just in case McCarthy might have been able to get that little pass away. Ricky Bird, McAllister. Good defence from Norths again, moving up effectively, and that's the fifth and last. The kick from the halfway by Bird, picked the gap nicely, although it's bounced back beautifully for Donovan Slade. 15 out from their own line now, Norths. To Peter Mawala. This is where Ipswich will want to try and pin them down if they possibly can, but here comes the semi again, getting himself involved, coming in off the wing, Tajalala. Cameron Smith. And hasn't this fella had a good game, McHugh? Trent McHugh, he's made some good, strong, solid runs and has offloaded very effectively. Walker losing his footing. Fifth tackle. Cameron Smith will kick himself. Nobody back on the right wing, but it was well covered by Marshall Chalk anyway.
Pretty steady set of 6 there from Norths, as they realise that Ipswich are far from done yet. And key for Norths is to maintain the level of intensity they played this first 50 minutes of the game at, because any drop in intensity will allow the skills of the Jets to come to the fore. Chris Anderson, a good rushing defence again, and that's an indication of retained intensity, is the speed at which the defence is prepared to come out. Jamie Matthew flicks it back on the inside, the ball's gone to ground. Up there to Ricky Bird, a little bit of room to move, keeps it alive. Up over the halfway line come the Jets.
I think I saw a 6 more signal.
It is too, so it's a great chance now for the Jets to continue the attack. Danny Caburn didn't want to offload that because McCarthy was in front. And a man down now, and another Jets player, I think it is, Matthew. No, it's not Matthew.
Fine, yep.
He did take a big, strong run over there a little bit earlier and flicked the ball out the back.
I think it might be Dale Robertson.
Tackle one, guys.
Robertson is the man who's come in to replace Dogue in the hooking position this weekend. So they're copying a bit of attrition with their number 9s.
It's been a tough game of football, this. Both teams know how important it is, and they really have worked hard in defence and attack. You just have the feeling that unlike some Queensland Cup matches where the tries are many and the play free-flowing, this is a battle of attrition, this game.
2 men down. Sorry, Warren, there was 2 down. There was Robertson and JP Cherry. You'd have to think there was a bit of a perhaps a head clash between those two as they came into maybe recover that loose pass from Matthew.
But yes, is this going to continue to be a battle of attrition after those 2 quick tries to open this half? You have the feeling both these teams are just working out what kind of game are we going to play. Is it going to continue to be tough where defence is on top, or is it going to open up?
Wait.
I know what Norths are preferring, as Ipswich are extremely flat here. Matthew up to the 30. Norths want to keep it tight, I'm sure. So the dummy half up there to Ricky Bird. Ricky Bird looks on the outside there to Chalk. Prepared to spread in this area of the field. That's the 3rd. Pass up to Hamilton, straight up there to Chris Anderson again. Good rushing defence, getting up over the advantage line and lost ball. Nice work that from Brendan Curry. That is real fruits for your labours. If you rush up, you're going to keep the pressure on, and an untidy effort to get up and play the ball from Chris Anderson has surrendered possession.
It's an attempted quick play, the ball that brought him undone.
Let's pack it tight, don't break early.
As smartly as he could, the ball came loose. Completion rates continue to be impressive. North 22 out of 26, Ipswich 19 out of 24. Though Gary Greggy didn't seem too happy with that at half-time. He was noticing the mistakes they'd made rather than the good completions.
Yeah, they're hard to please these coaches. That's verging on the very good completion rate frequency there from both sides. Very high standard ball handling game.
And that might account for the success that Ipswich is having this year, that he's setting pretty high standards for them. Gary Grenke. North's in possession. Cameron Smith, Brentnall. Solid tackle there, and again it was Chris Anderson maybe feeling that he's got to make some amends here. Good work by JP Cherry to keep this ball alive, and Cameron Smith again. 10 metres into Ipswich territory. Brentnall up at dummy half, keeping it going on that far side, and Jake Webster, still they keep it going. Put down though now by Norths.
An accidental offside. I think here is going to get the advantage to the Jets. The penalty. The ball was thrown back, knocked forward and touched again and picked up by Donovan Slade. So a little bit of accidental offside there, but certainly the man in an offside position.
In the lead-up, though, we saw some good work by the North forwards, unloading short passes, backing each other up. Some smart play there by a number of the players.
Ipswich now to bring it forward. Anthony Seibold with the 40. Good, strong defence again from the Devils. Ricky Bird up to Brian McCarthy. Pretty well to struggle forward. Just outside the 30. West in at dummy half now. Up there to Ricky Bird. Ricky Bird out to Hamilton, playing right back row. Does beautifully well to flick it up again to Richard Allwood. Allwood grabbed by the shorts. Looks to offload, just couldn't. That's only the 3rd tackle, so they're putting plenty of pressure on the Devils' defence. Matthews gone through his hand, picked up, but knocked on.
No, there's nothing in that.
Anyway, just trying to work out who was the receiver there, and a bit of confusion in the play has taken all the pressure off Ricky Bird. Matthew just grabbed at it. Seibold picked up, but it had been knocked forward.
Oh, interesting.
Tight formation, heads in, lock it in, Danny.
And sort of has kept on going. They're the errors Ipswich have made 6, Norths 4.
That's not the only thing that's interesting, Jerry. Robertson has left the field for Ipswich after that knock a few moments ago. Stephen West, the winger, has gone to hooker, and Farron Anderson from the bench has gone to the right wing.
Well, wouldn't have happened in your day, Warren, would it?
Would not have been allowed to happen.
Especially if you're the captain.
Would have been a strike.
Well, Stephen West is going to have to tackle some big men in there as well, playing at hooker, and I don't think he was enjoying opposite Semi Tadulano a short time ago. Cameron Smith just almost pretending that the game has been stopped for a little bit, and here's for Peter Moala. 35 out. North. Smith again. Well, that time it was Smith, I think. Now coming back inside, Donovan Slade looking for a runner, and Brentnell was going straight, but he couldn't get the ball to him. Norths keep it going that same way. McHugh with the offload. Ed Amos, 10 out. Smith, this is the 5th tackle, and here comes another Brentnell bomb. It's a high one. Pressure here. Chase for the ball. Who's going to come up with it? Well, it's the Jets coming through with the ball, and here's a good little run by Ricky Bird too. So that took a lot of the pressure away.
Yeah, a bit of snatching going on here for the high ball. It was always going to be difficult, the ball bouncing around there.
Michael Jack sort of got his hand to it a couple of times, and Ricky Bird, being the small man, said, well, I'm happy to take the spills. And that was good for Ipswich that he did.
Took the spills and then raced about 25 metres upfield.
McCarthy into North's territory. 20 points to 12, 8 points the difference. Still a wide open game. Jamie Matthew. Hamilton again. Well, that pass was to nobody. Marshall Chalk eventually picking it up. That's the 5th. West in at dummy half. And his grubber looks a little bit ordinary, but sometimes those can prove to be effective. Not when Donovan Slade snaps them up, though. And he's tackled 15 from halfway.
Very impressive, the Norths forwards, as we've said today, in terms of the aggression, controlled aggression they played with, but they've got some pretty classy backs as well. Billy Slater, Donovan Slade, Moala, they've all done well. Cameron Smith decides not to sell a dump to his run-up. That'll bring him further respect. Brentnell, not a good pass, and it's been knocked forward. Well, surely, yes, it is now. The referee getting a signal from his touchy. And this will be a chance now for Ipswich to perhaps get back into this match. They still trail by a concerning 8 points with 14 to go.
That's better defence too by Ipswich. You saw Cameron Smith come out of dummy half, hoping to attract defenders, but they held to their task. They went man on man, and that forced Smith to take the tackle. They kept their eye on the runner and the dummy half and nominated who was going to tackle who.
Well, here goes Ipswich again.
Come back 13, keep coming, guys.
On the halfway. Oh, not a good pass there at all, but picked up finally by Farron Anderson. Aaron Bulow at dummy half. Steve West keeping through the hands quickly there to Anthony Seibold. West standing pretty flat. Ipswich. Hamilton again, that angle, and again Chalk was there. Chalk was actually pushed without getting anywhere near the ball, but the referee's going to rule the knock on here.
Get out of it, get out of it.
North will have the scrum feed.
Tried to offload there, Andrew Hamilton, after really being well and truly confronted by the defence, closing out on the inside. Something they didn't do in the lead up to the first try. Look at the snap there on Jamie Matthew. He's obviously copped one. There's been plenty given today. And I'm not saying necessarily in a legal sense. There's just been a very, very aggressive play from Norths, and which are going to, I guess they've competed in that department. They certainly haven't been overwhelmed by any means.
So has this bloke, Brendan Curry. He's run strongly and offloading passes.
Up there to Brentnell. Moala up again to Brentnell. Norths to get it inside the 30 through Amos. Running out of a few ideas. High kick's always a good option in these sort of conditions. Trouble for Chalk, but he takes it very nicely. Well, that is like a nightmare, that. In these conditions, a high ball in perfect conditions is difficult. In these conditions, it's extremely concerning.
And all you can do is keep your eye on the ball because it'll swirl. It almost got through. And speaking of almost through, he's right through Michael Jack. One man to beat, easily beats Falala. Can he keep going? Great run by Jack. Tackle 10 out. Now they need support players. Steve West is up there, but they need more than him. Ricky Bird had a man going at the angle. Here's Andrew Hamilton. Another flick. No, couldn't get it away. The urgency's gone. They've got to work their way across here as the defence moves up very quickly and effectively. And now it's on again. Good quick hands. Chaz Kerry-Turgoff slips the pass away and Aaron Bulow's in. Great try by Ipswich. Excellent try by the Jets. And that brings them that much closer. Just 4 points the difference now, 2016.
Showing that after getting a good break downfield, they can capitalise. Have a look at this through the hands. Only from 10 metres out. It's not easy to get the ball all the way across the field from there. And the pass comes out through Coburn, pops it over the top, I think, to Thurkoff. Thurkoff up there to Bulow. He's going to have to take and dive across the try line. But it's a good effort from Ipswich. Great break initially by Michael Jack. Straight up the middle, ducks under a couple, and then beats the fullback. Beats the fullback, then beats Semi Tajalala, beats Moala, then Tajalala. Finally caught from behind because he had to duck and dive around. They go down left side then, and they go to Hamilton to try and create something, but he decides not to flick the pass here. Probably had a chance to flick it if he had to, but realising it was early in the tackle count. They know they want to go to the right-hand side. Up to Seibold, who'd already pointed out there to Chalk. Chalk to Matthew. Matthew nicely up to Henaway. Henaway to Coburn. Coburn Thurkoff. Thurkoff Bulow. And it's a pretty fair effort to take the ball across the try line like that from so close and still be able to avoid defenders as they try and block every pass. Ipswich are showing they're a very good attacking team, and they'd be very pleased with that. Once you make that break, that's one thing. Keep your cool head, don't throw a stupid pass, and finish off afterwards. Time's on your side.
The wind blowing across this kick from right to left.
So he'll kick it into the breeze. Oh, he's kicked it very well. Almost just dead straight. There you go, 20 points to 18 in favour of Norths over Ipswich.
What a good kick, but what a fantastic try. 3 plays in a row from Ipswich. Superb. And finally the finish here, the ability to get the passes away in awkward positions sometimes. Here's Henaway, does well for a young player. That's a great pass there from Coburn. Thurkoff does well under pressure, and Bulow there to finish it off. But you go right back to the break by Michael Jack. More than one way to skin a cat. He's ducked under the two Norths players. One of them was Smith. Another bigger player alongside Cameron Smith in defence. They had him covered. He's ducked under and between the two of them. Back on his own side of halfway.
Only 2 points the difference. 19 minutes to go. Anybody's game and a lot to play for here. North's on 5th spot on the competition ladder, knowing that there's Gavin Allen, former Brisbane Bronco there. Watching on. So North's on 18 points, but behind them on 16 are Toowoomba, Wynnum and Burleigh. And of course Toowoomba playing Burleigh tomorrow. So they can't afford to lose this game, really, North. And Ipswich, by the same token, are only 2 points in front of them on 20 in 3rd spot. Steve West, darted beautifully, but lost control of the ball.
Critical stage in the match. That's a drop ball. Could well be telling. Dummy half run was through.
There was no one in front of him, and the fullback was 50 metres away, way downfield.
Back, guys, with the touch, Dad.
Fumbled. What a slip up there.
Hold it. Head down.
Taking a piece on the interchange at this point in time. So 5 left for both sides in the last 20. JP Cherry, Andrew Hamilton standing out of the scrum. That's interesting. Ipswich must have a very interesting configuration in defence at the moment. And a high tackle from Ipswich.
No, get out of it.
Will allow North to continue. Well, there's 2 points here if they want them. It'll only give them a 4-point advantage. Cameron Smith hasn't been kicking. They're going to take the attempt at the big points. The Devils. Well, they decided to take some metres on offer, but ultimately got driven back. Smith. This time I think that's Curry. Was. Up to Brentnall. Pass out to Cherry. Dummy. Straight through McHugh. What a pass. What a player. McHugh, what a damaging runner. He's a big boy, this fellow Trent McHugh. And a little bit of a dummy play. This was a set piece off the tap. So they were setting a couple for this one big play, and it's paid off to perfection.
Well, it's all about timing, and this is perfect timing. Brentnall's pass there to JP Cherry, holds it up, and he knew where the man was going to be. He knew the angle he was running, and he was going at a pace with huge momentum. Strong man McHugh, and he has scored an excellent try to just kick North clear again, and has had a terrific game, Trent McHugh, for the Devils today.
This is a beautiful little set piece here. JP Cherry, the experienced man. See the dummy runner going back on the inside. Amos just opens up the hole. There's two ways to try and split or get through a stacked defence these days, is to hold them in and try and go around them with dummy runners stopping the slide, or a couple of runners just trying to open up the stack. And that worked beautifully there with Amos coming back on the inside and McHugh steaming forward. What a critical kick this to get them back to 8 points in front. I don't believe a draw is much good to North, so they must win here this afternoon. And Smith has hooked it beautifully. Cameron Smith pays the dividends to come up and reinstate the 8-point lead.
Well, they decided not to take the two initially, went for the try, and they come up with this beautiful play. JP Cherry weaving around. The runner, as you said, David, going back on the inside. Amos opened up the hole for McHugh, steaming through it, and no one there to stop him. That's a beautifully worked move.
That means that Ipswich has the job in front of it now. They did the work to get themselves back within contact, and now they find themselves 8 behind again. Donovan Slade playing the ball on that far side, and they'll work it out here. Another good, strong run by Brendan Curry. Keith Mason, tackled on his own 20. Cameron Smith, long pass out wide there. Lost ball fumbled. Chance for North. Bulow quickly picks up the loose ball. 28 out. Steve West linking up with McCarthy. Solid tackle again on McCarthy. And it's going to take him a little while to get up as well. Mason was the tackler. Jamie Matthew, the captain, trying to force his way through the middle. Aaron Bulow's injured out wide. Ricky Bird. Bird backing around beautifully. He can link up on that far side. Maybe there's a chance out wide. And they're desperately close. Michael Jack is just short of the line. And no, still not there.
Help!
West now. Will clear it this time. Spread it wide. Seibold's pass is going to be comfortably taken by Brentnall for North. And there just wasn't enough urgency running onto that ball.
It just bounced there as Seibold tried to flick it very quickly through their hands. They were up very flat, Ipswich, and Brentnall was coming through. As North's defence have continually done today, they've moved up well. And Brentnall on the spot to save the day for the Devils. And they quickly replied by getting out of their own territory and almost up there. Beautiful pass there by Dallas Johnson. Didn't ultimately get a big break, but it certainly threatened Cameron Smith out of dummy half. That could have been better to flick it through the hands there. There was a half a chance out here on the edge. Brentnall does well to beat the first man, and a penalty will go to Brentnall, and more particularly the Norths.
Over you, Westy.
Steve West going to be called out. Was it a throwing out of the foot? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Brentnall, yes.
This is a reaction, but you suck your leg out. It's going to go on report, okay?
It's on report. Just a spur of the moment thing, I think, but it could have been quite dangerous.
Well, there's two turning points involving Stephen West since he's gone to hooker. He made that break about 5 minutes ago. Would have gone straight downfield, except he lost the ball. And next thing you know, North are in for a try, and now trying to put pressure on the kicker. He's made that move with his leg, which did look like an attempted trip. Maybe another angle might show it in a better light.
Jerry, just a call there from North, I overheard. 2 in for 2. So let's see what happens. You normally have 2 settlers and then their play. Let's see what they're up to.
Well, Keith Mason has 1. And now here comes number 2 from Curry. And already they're 5 metres short of the line. So here's number 1. And what will it be? Bretnell links up. No way through there, though, for Dallas Johnson. Bretnell again. That's the 4th tackle. Billy Slater in a dummy half. Trying to find his way through Clint Amos. 5th and last tackle now. Cameron Smith. And JP Cherry's kick comfortably taken in the end goal on the full, so they'll take it to the 20 for the tackle.
Poor kick that from Cherry. Either put it on the ground and cause him to pick it up awkwardly, or you put it up high. You don't just kick it cross field at around about waist height. Certainly wasn't what he was intending. It was ended up surely poor execution rather than intent.
Ipswich have got to get 2 tries, and they've got 11 minutes to do it.
Certainly can be done, especially if they get one of those sooner rather than later. A little pass up there to McCarthy. It's the 4th, so they're still a long way from the dividends. Oh, that looked forward. Back on the inside to Seibold. Seibold keeps alive up to Ricky Bird. He hasn't done much running today, Bird. Up there to Matthew. Matthew keeps it alive to Coburn. Coburn back to Bird. Bird gives it to Hamilton. He can do something. Hamilton has got Farron Anderson with him, but tackled well by Amos. That's the 5th tackle. Up to Bird. Bird decides a little kick off the right-hand side. It's hit the upright. Anything can happen here. Still the last tackle up to West. They've got extras. He decides to kick. It's open space. Oh, shocking bounce for them. And it's bounced into touch. It'll mean loose head and feed to the Devils.
I wonder whether Richard Allwood would have been onside then anyway. But it was certainly a chance. It was good thinking by Steve West. There was the kick from Ricky Bird that hit the uprights and bounced back. And West found it in his hands.
Tight, heads in, lock it in.
At least in a moment he does right now. There's the kick. Allwood was out wide, but got a shocking bounce.
Really surprised by Ricky Bird. He had a great attacking game, running game early in the season, and in previous years for that matter. He had an injury that kept him out for about 4 weeks, and I wonder whether he's either waiting his time. Tendon slept, you don't want to wait much longer, but he's a devastating ball runner. He wants to get it up to the halfway line. They're the ones with the 8-point lead. Nice little hit and spin. 5th tackle, so a little pocket play will do them. Brentnell decides to come down this side. Not a good kick though. Farron Anderson comfortably takes it. And at the same time, fairly comfortably tackled.
That's 2 kicks at the end of the last sets from North, JP Cherry and then Brentnell, which haven't been up to the mark. They need better than that to finish off this game. Got to lock it away.
Still certainly in the balance at the moment. Burkoff, good quick hands up to Coburn. And inside the 10.
Get out of it.
Wow, there's a big call. There's not too many 10-metre penalties today, and to get one now would really present us with a photo finish.
Well, that's where Norths have to be careful, because you do get the feeling that they've taken the foot off the pedal a little bit, having established that 8-point lead. And if they don't come forward in defence, and if they're not a little careful, well then Ipswich could quickly nab a couple of tries. And this man is always dangerous, Andrew Hamilton, and he's offloaded again. Jamie Matthew, 25 out, only the 2nd tackle. They're going to keep it going on the left. Ricky Bird. Oh, nice over-the-top pass to Anthony Seibold. Now they're 10 out and getting closer. The Jets. Ricky Bird, Matthew, defence up on him very quickly. Walker. Now Hamilton, Bulow. Have to switch it around again. Kerry Perkoff. The defence is good. They're coming forward now. They're blotting them out. Not a good pass, but well taken by Ricky Bird, and his little grubber kick has again applied pressure to North, and it'll be really difficult to get out on the field to play here for Donovan Slade, and he's held up in there. So good little kick by Ricky Bird.
Yeah, good kick by Bird, keeping the pressure on, but you can rest assured. Well, I was going to say it's going to take a long time Here's Donovan Slade trying to get out of his own in-goal area. Pretty fair attempt at the end to make it, but just can't get there. Weight of numbers. I was going to say it was going to take him a long time to take this goal line dropout, but because the referee has seen an injury to Ricky Bird and a bit of blood coming out of the nose, he's called time off. So any attempt to delay the restart by North has been negated by this unfortunate injury to Ricky Bird.
He was forced to kick in the end, Bird, because of the rock-solid North's defence. They're able to cover everything Ipswich is throwing at them so far.
Interesting, Warren, that we thought the wind would be a major factor in this game, but I don't know that it has been.
No, I agree, Jerry. It hasn't been as big a factor as we would have thought.
Largely cross-field, I think, is what's negated it somewhat today. It's coming from bottom right to top left, but primarily a westerly, slight southwesterly.
Jamie Matthew with a long pass on the far side there to Allwood. And Richard Allwood, oh, he was close. Seibold in a dummy half, good quick pass. And maybe there's a chance here as that Hamilton has lost control of the ball. Or was it stripped? It should have been, I would imagine, and a penalty going to the Jets.
Yeah, fair enough to try and strip there, I think, because you're under a lot of pressure. Another chance now for the Jets. Couple of metres out.
Can they finish it off now, the Jets? Score a try which will make the last few minutes interesting. Ball swung around there from Hamilton to Coburn. McAllister's got size. Held out. Look how close he was.
Lost it. Ref looked away, but he's decided it was lost cold. Have to think it had a little bit of help. Let's have a look there. Cue over the top. Well, it looked like it could have been a right hand coming in to dislodge it.
Yeah, I think that could have been a tough decision there. You'd think surely benefit of the doubt in that situation would have gone to McAllister, and they should have been playing on Ipswich. Mind you, the Jets had a chance to the right-hand side. They had North outnumbered, and North was screaming in defence, calling for numbers, and the ball never really got out to the right-hand side with any decoys running. It just came through the hands, and that allowed North to scramble across.
Well, another lost ball. Oh, would you believe it?
Maybe it's just...
You've got to have some control, guys, just like they over there. Just the same over there.
Now given a slim hope, and that's a correct decision for mine. He didn't control the ball at all well there, Semi-Takulala. Could we have the grandstand finish? 10-7, the errors have just slipped up a little bit in the last 20 minutes, but still a very high standard game. Hamilton, we've got another knock on. Well, there'll be a changeover anyway, straight to North. Well, any chance they had of winning the game has just gone there and then.
Yeah, the pass from West was a little too far in front, and Hamilton seemed flat-footed. The two of them combined to put it down. It's been a little bit of a problem there for Ipswich. Since West has gone to hooker, things haven't quite worked for... he's played so well on the wing, but hasn't quite worked. And you go back to the fact Matt Dogg isn't there today at hooker, and they put Robertson in there. He got injured. That shuffle hasn't helped Ipswich.
Keith Mason into Ipswich territory. If North can score another try here, they'll be able to put it all away, shut down the gates, and here's a chance too. Clint Amos, 30 out. Cameron Smith keeps it going that same direction. Brentnell, JP Cherry's kick will find the corner.
And that's quite okay with only 4.5 to go and 8 points up. You're just about assuring yourself of a victory here now by winding the clock down. And to the credit of North, they've played very well today. The last two times they were on ABC TV, they have not played well.
Move it back, move it back. No, move it back, right back. No, to the line.
Doubt in my mind about their
otherwise we're going to hold it off.
ability to compete.
Head down.
Albeit they've been up in the top half of the draw for the whole season. I say they started with 4 straight wins. Ipswich getting a little bit chancy now as they realise time is running out. Darren Anderson to play it.
Well, this will keep North in the top 5, and it was vital that they do that. Ricky Bird's had that blood well and truly blasted. The Jets with the clock running down, 3.5 to go.
Another little knock on. What it does do, Jerry, though, it just keeps these 8 sides just so closely stacked together, doesn't it? We've got a fantastic finish for the last third of the season in the Queensland Cup as 8 sides are trying to fit into 5, and it's going to come down to a point here and there, a win here and there, and at the end of the day, for and against could well decide who makes the semis.
And I mentioned that important game tomorrow between Toowoomba and Burleigh. If you listen to ABC Radio around about 2:30 or so, we should have the end of that game, and we'll be able to tell you what the later is then at the completion of the weekend's round.
Norths have got a big task over the next 3 weeks. I think they've got East, Toowoomba and Redcliffe, not necessarily in that order. So big ask for Norths, and this is a good platform to set them off on a very challenging part of the season.
Given the disruptions that they've had coming into this game, they've done pretty well, haven't they? They've played well as a team, and whereas you would have expected that might have been difficult for them.
Attitude's been great right from the start.
Brett Knoll, JP Cherry, keeping it going on the far side there to Jake Webster. Good strong run now by Donovan Slade. Good quick play the ball too by North. Brett Knoll, another high bomb. Tadulala's coming in there. Up they go over the top of Tadulala. That'll probably be a knock on. It is. Hand over.
Brentford deciding to test them again with the bomb. They had a chance to put it through the hands. It's always been difficult today. There's been a number of days where something very similar to that has occurred, where players have been grabbing at the ball as it moves in this strong breeze. Norths have impressed me today with their attitude, their power and defence. A lot of young kids out here. Ipswich have Jack down a blind side, makes the break, one to beat. For Phil Mawali, puts a little chip kick in. Both have got pace. Mawala's got it covered, and it's back in the in-goal area. Play on. North to try and get it out of there, and just do so. Well, Michael Jack tried the kick and chase.
Oh, they made a mistake. But they get a penalty though.
Too early.
Leaving too early.
Too early, go.
I agree with you, David. I think Norths will be really happy with this performance. They've worked hard today and they've come up with a result. They've earned this win. Mind you, Ipswich, without Brendan Lindsay and Matt Dogue, I think they've played pretty well also. They've responded to the challenge. They've gone hard in there against Norths today, and I don't know that they'll be too shattered by this loss. Nevertheless, I think both teams will recognise to beat the likes of a Redcliffe and win the comp, they've got to go even better.
And this game will certainly do them a lot of good, Ipswich, even though they're not going to get the points out of it. But they've got to keep on winning in the coming weeks. Curry, who's played very well for North today. Smith, Brent Knoll. And that kick, Marshall Chalk has to go backwards for quite a while before collecting it. But look at the welcoming committee up there very quickly. Billy Slater was one of them. Brett will finish, followed through his own kick. Farron Anderson in at dummy half as the full-time hooter goes, and Aaron Bulow will go for a bit of a run, link up with Ricky Bird. And what can we pull out of the last few minutes as Seibold offloads the pass? Still they keep it going, but that will be it as Marshall Chalk will go to ground. And full-time, Norths have beaten Ipswich by 26 points to 18 after a pretty entertaining match, and I'm sure you would have enjoyed it, and it's shown two of these teams in this real battle for the top five, and a game like that will be really important experience for the semi-finals themselves, but more importantly, getting into the semi-finals. And the coming weeks are just going to be so intriguing as we work out which five teams will make up the semi-finals.
Man of the match today goes to Trent McHugh. Great effort in the back row.
He was very impressive indeed. And North's 26-18, Johnson, Mawala, Tadulala, Slater and McHugh scoring tries. Smith 3 conversions. For Ipswich, West, Jack and Bulow scored the tries. 3 conversions to Ipswich. So North remain in 5th place, beating Ipswich by 26 points to 18. And both teams go out of this knowing that they are well and truly capable of being there in the semi-finals. That was an enjoyable match, and we hope you'll be with us next week when we go to Redcliffe to see the competition leaders take on the Central Comets. Join us for that.